Welcome to the Foundry of Transformation, the podcast where we explore the systems behind great leadership. I'm your host, Amethyst. Today, we're diving into a classic leadership dilemma. What do you do when your star performer wants an exception to the rules? To help us break it down, we have our leadership expert, Michael. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Amethyst. It's great to be here. This is a topic that comes up constantly. Leaders feel torn between keeping their A player happy and maintaining a fair system for everyone else. It's a tough spot.
It seems like the immediate pressure to get results would make it easy to just grant that exception. Why is that approach so risky in the long run?
That's the trap. It feels like a short-term win, but when leadership bends rules to accommodate one person, the whole team bears the cost. Business schools often use football as a case study. Teams falter when systems bend for their superstars. The real cost isn't just losing a game. It's that trust fractures, clarity blurs, and burnout creeps in.
So it's the unseen damage to the team dynamic. What does that erosion of trust actually look like?
It starts with questions. Team members see the inconsistency and start wondering, why do the rules apply to me, but not to them? That uncertainty erodes the psychological safety you need for people to collaborate and take risks. Eventually, overall performance declines.
That makes sense. I've heard of leaders using a data-driven approach to get ahead of this, something like a blind exception audit to see if they are unconsciously favoring a few people. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that idea of an audit because it moves the conversation from feeling to fact. Once you have that data, you can install a simple framework to guide future decisions. Before granting an exception, you ask yourself 3 questions. First, does this action support or weaken our team's systems? Second, how does this impact trust among other team members? And third, are we aligning with our core values?
That framework is incredibly clarifying. It really shifts the focus from pleasing one person to leading the whole team. It reminds me of a core principle from Metamorphosis worldwide, that leadership's real test isn't just managing stars, but building systems that allow everyone to contribute sustainably.
That's exactly right. That distinction is crucial because it shifts the goal from short-term wins to long-term resilience. We saw this with a mid-sized agency that was struggling with project delays. They used an exception log and found their top biller was constantly skipping parts of the standard onboarding process. Addressing it systemically didn't just fix the workflow, it restored the team's trust in the process.
It sounds like the ultimate goal then is to build a system so healthy that it creates an environment for everyone to shine.
Precisely. There's a great quote from a business school case study that sums it up. Leadership is not just about getting the best out of your stars. It's about building a system where everyone can shine.
This has been incredibly insightful, Michael. To summarize for our listeners, what is the single most important takeaway you want them to leave with?
That consistency in leadership isn't about being rigid. It's about protecting the fairness and clarity that allow your team to operate with autonomy and trust.
A perfect summary. And what's one challenge or piece of actionable advice they can implement this week?
The next time you're faced with an exception request from a top performer, pause. Run it through those 3 questions. Does it support the system? Does it impact trust? And does it align with our core values?
Michael, and how can people learn more about this? How can they keep track of their values, their systems? It can be a lot sometimes, especially for managers.
Metamorphosis Worldwide, a partnership between Alan Nahamie and Michael Gerber, has an app called Metamorphosis Catalyst. It's made for situations like this to help the managers keep track of such leadership and management activities.
Michael, thank you again for your expertise today. And to close out our episode, here's an affirmation for your week. I am the leader who protects the system and empowers every player to shine. Thanks for tuning in to the Foundry of Transformation. We'll see you next time.